Undoubtedly, this was a Trump week. So many things that we're going to cover during this week. No, that's why I named this chapter, this video, Trump Week. But we're going to talk about other companies as well. We're going to talk about Meta. We're going to talk about AMD. We're going to talk about Tesla. We're going to talk about Boeing, Novo Nordisk. So let's directly dive in. So hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. If you're new, my name is Micah, and on this channel we cover weekly summary for the stock market and financial information that you might get benefits from. Everything and anything that you see here is of course not financial advice on this channel that you can subscribe. It's only for your entertainment and educational purposes only. And let's dive in. This is the markets this week. Dow up 2% for the week. S&P up 1.74 with one or two all-time highs, depending how you count them. Russell up 1.43. RSP, the equal-weighted S&P, up 1.1%. And the NASDAQ up 1.1% for the week. Animal spirits in full gear. When we look at the indices themselves, you can see communication up 3%, healthcare up 2.7%, industrials up 2.4%, and technology up 2.2%. Energy, the laggard for the week, down 2.8% after a very strong opening. Maybe drill, baby, drill by President Trump did not sound that well for the energy companies. Crypto market up for the week. You can see Bitcoin up 2.4% and Ethereum up 1.69%. All this on the heels of hope that things are going to change with the new administration. We are going to talk about that. And when you look at the commodities themselves, natural gas with a 5.6% gain after Europe apparently needs more natural gas. And guess what happens to the U.S. natural gas containers and ships? They turn and go to Europe. Gold and silver up between 2.3 and 0.2, and crude oil down 2.4% for the week. This brings us to the Magnificent Seven. Two weren't that magnificent, Apple and Tesla, while Meta, Amazon, Nvidia, Microsoft, and Google up for the week, each for their own. And that, of course, brings us, as usual, to the news of the week. We were going to start with Monday with the inauguration. President Trump's second presidency signs, or actually vows to act as a president of the United States. You can see his family surrounding him. And in the background, you can see even Elon Musk and Sundar Pichai. So let's zoom in. Donald Trump, during his inauguration that was held indoor because it was cold outside, brought the top CEOs of the Magnificent Seven. Let's go from left to right. We see Mark Zuckerberg and his wife. And Mark Zuckerberg, of course, is the founder of Facebook. We see Jeff Bezos, founder of Amazon, and his second wife. We see Sundar Pichai, Google's CEO. Elon Musk, Tesla, SpaceX, Neuralink, everything you want, and the Boring Company. Here on the right-hand side, you might not be able, because of the picture that is cropped, you can see the head, or actually the half of the head, the right cheek of Tim Cook, Apple's CEO. And there were several more CEOs during the inauguration. Trump signaling to the market, I am pro-business, not like Biden, which was anti-business. And of course, the market loved it. You saw how the market gained during the 5 trading days of the week. But it didn't stop there. Trump, during the week, announces Stargate, a new project of $100 to $500 billion of investment for making U.S. the leader in AI. This, of course, benefits a lot of companies like Oracle, and that's why Larry Ellison is there. ARM, that's why Mayoshi Son from SoftBank is here. And, of course, OpenAI, and that's why Sam Altman is here. We see everyone summarized it, but at the end of the day, people will buy chips from Nvidia and use software from Microsoft and Oracle and OpenAI and ARM and other companies as well, between $100 to $500 billion. But it didn't stop there. Let's go directly to where it didn't stop. It didn't stop there when Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, or actually MBS, that's his short acronym, plans to invest $600 billion in U.S. investments. This will not only be AI, it will be other things as well. So Trump bringing a lot of capital into the U.S., whether the capital exists or not, it's a big question. Elon Musk tweets on X that these people can't even pay the money that they're signing their checks on. And of course, Satya Nadella from Microsoft jokes on it in Davos, in the World Economic Forum, during an interview in CNBC, and says, I'm good for my 80 billion, because he's supposed to invest 80 billion in AI. So there it becomes kind of a joke, but at the end of the day, like Trump says, millions of billions of dollars are going to be invested in that. But it didn't stop there. President Trump this week, actually after around 12 hours of shutdown for TikTok, told TikTok, guys, turn it on. I'm giving you the 60 to 90 days to figure it out. And I will stand behind this decision as the president of the United States. And TikTok goes back live for the US. These were very, very, very difficult times. These were a few hours where a lot of people felt like the end of the world has arrived. They touched the phone so many times without getting any response. Some of them even thought that the phone didn't work. It was very, very serious times. And I hope they will never meet such difficult times in their lifetime. Not seeing TikTok for 12 hours was no doubt one of the low points of a lot of people in the last few years. And if you didn't understand, that was a joke. Let's continue. We said Trump week. Let's continue. On Thursday, Trump goes on a Zoom call during the World Economic Forum in Davos and says a lot of things. Since on my Hebrew channel I had a specific video for you guys, I created a summary. Here it goes. Trump says the following: we began the golden age of America. Biden lost control of inflation and the border. We're taking rapid action to reverse radical left policies. U.S. has the largest amount of oil and gas of any country, and we are going to use it. While he says on his inauguration, drill, baby, drill. Congress will pass the largest tax cut in American history. Bring your businesses to the U.S. and you will pay a lot less. Trump says he wants to be the world capital for AI and crypto. We're going to touch upon that in a second. He messages to the business community, build your products in America. If you don't, you're going to have to pay a large tariff. We will be asking the Saudi Arabia and OPEC to bring down the cost of oil. If the price comes down, war in Ukraine will end immediately. He will ask the Saudi prince to increase the U.S. investment from 600 billion to 1 trillion. He will not allow the U.S. territory to be violated. He says he will demand lower interest rates. We're going to hear probably about that in the next few days. You're going to see it in a second. Why? Trump also says he has made the policy of the U.S. As two genders, male and female. He's asking NATO nations to increase their defense spending to 5% of their GDP. He will demand that interest rates drop immediately. He said it twice. EU treats U.S. very badly, he says, when asked about what's going on with the Europe. He also said that tariffs, currently, he says the U.S. products cannot really come into Europe because of the VAT, which is like tariffs. He said, okay, if you're putting tariffs on us, we're going to put tariffs on you guys. What do you think? And I think that's mainly what he says. A lot of things pushing the U.S. to become better. And if you thought that was it, it's not. President Trump on Friday signs an executive order that says crypto is good. He doesn't really say that. He says he signs an executive order that says he wants to strengthen the American leadership in digital financial technologies. By that, opening the door for the U.S. to start talking about having Bitcoin as part of the reserve currency, putting Senator Lummis as a subcommittee of digital crypto, and of course having the czar for AI and crypto looking into creating the framework, regulatory framework for crypto. This didn't bring Bitcoin to the sky, of course, but what it did, it didn't crash. So there wasn't sell the news, but there wasn't any hopes yet because nothing definitive was there. What else did we have this week? One new all-time high on the 2025, the first all-time high. Amazing. Actually, I can stop here, but there are more news. Nancy Pelosi, during the last weekend, submitted her purchases and sales of stocks And as you might know, Nancy Pelosi is the number one trader in the world. I'll give you a few numbers. Nancy Pelosi has been a politician all her life. She makes around $200,000 annually. But her value or assets or net worth, remember 200,000, is 200 million. How do you get to that? Well, through trading the market. What did she buy this week and how did it come to fruition? She bought Google, Amazon. She sold Apple. She bought NVIDIA, a lot of NVIDIA. She makes a lot of money out of NVIDIA. She bought Palo Alto. She bought Vistra for the energy. And she bought a few stock options on a small company called Tempus AI. Up to now, you saw tens of billions of dollar companies and sometimes even hundreds of billions of dollar companies. But Tempus AI, small company. Why would you do that? No one knows. But what I do know that this was during the weekend. Tuesday, market opens and this is what happens. Look at the chart. From $35 to all the way to, you're going to see the chart in a second, 35 all the way to $51 a share. 56% gain only since she published that she bought. Tempus AI year to date up 52%. Only on the fact that Nancy Pelosi bets on this unprofitable AI stock surge. GameStop or Nancy Pelosi? Who is more, let's call it crazy on the market? Let's continue to AMD. On Friday, surprises everyone that they integrated their new DeepSeek version 3 model, or actually their MI300X GPU is in the new DeepSeek version 3 model. Why is that relevant? Because DeepSeek is the OpenAI for China. And that is, of course, creating its own headlines because the results of their DeepSeek is very, very good. The SEC overturns SAB 121. In summary, it means that banks can hold custody Bitcoin. They were not allowed up until now. Now they can, which means that you can take loans on your Bitcoin. You can. It's not ready yet. They're not ready to do it, but they will be able to do that in the future. MicroStrategy. Suddenly, the IRS is coming back and saying, "Look, from the price you bought Bitcoin to the price it's right now, you're up $14 billion. We want on that unrealized gains. We want for you to pay taxes." They're going to probably work Washington to make sure that that doesn't happen. But if it does, of course, they're starting to move around money. They closed convertible notes that they had for 2027 and gave stock in the process. So we're going to hear a lot about MicroStrategy. And if you're invested in MicroStrategy, I want to tell you the following thing. One, don't. The reason why I'm saying don't is not because I'm not invested in MicroStrategy. I am. But I think that MicroStrategy is a unique creature that the result of investing in MicroStrategy will have, there are basically only two results out there. Or it's a Ponzi scheme, and you're going to lose all your money. And I'm telling you very clearly, you're going to lose all your money. Or it's going to be the biggest financial idea that was ever created, and you're going to make a lot of money. So, don't invest in MicroStrategy money that you are not good of losing, because you might lose it in a second. On the other hand, it does provide that opportunity. You take your own decisions. I'm not your financial advisor. I'm just giving you the facts as I see them and understand them. A firm gets a $750 million funding from Liberty Mutual. Boeing expects $4 billion loss in the fourth quarter. How bad is that company was managed? Now it's a new CEO. Novo Nordisk on Friday went up after they presented early stage weight loss drug trial results, and the results were very good. They saw 22% reduction in weight in obese and overweight patients after 36 weeks. Very good. Mark Zuckerberg on Friday says that he's going to invest a lot more in AI. He's going to invest a lot more in power. He's going to build more data centers, and he tried to explain the size of the data centers that he's going to have. And he put it on the map of Manhattan and says that it, in theory, covers most of Manhattan. That's the size of the data centers that he's going to build. Bank of Japan raised their rates by 25 basis points, bringing it to 0.5%. All this is the highest level that they've seen since 2008. Tesla launched the new Model Y in the US and in Europe. Basically, now you can order the new Model Y, and you'll probably get it between February and March. South Carolina reboots a giant nuclear project because data needs energy. We saw the energy stocks up the week, especially nuclear. Mark Zuckerberg is looking to compete with Apple AirPods connected to the glasses. Trump is scaling in the tariffs and not everything at once. Costco Union, which represents 18,000 of their workers, authorized a nationwide strike. And we also had earnings this week, but they were okay. The outlier for the good side of it was Netflix. Very, very good earnings. 300 million subscribers. Very good work on the ad spend. And mainly what we heard this week is the consumer is in good health. We heard it from Netflix, which is going to raise prices. We heard it from the banks. We heard it from others. The consumer is in good health. This is very good for the earnings seasons. The earnings season, especially next week, which is going to be very dramatic. And that brings us to next week. 41% of the S&P 500 companies, 41%. If you're fast on your feet, think about it. 10% of the S&P 500 is 50. 40% is 200. 41%, you take 5 more, you add that, 205 S&P 500 companies are going to report. I hope I was correct on that. Let's check it. Otherwise, it would be a real disgrace. 0.4. Yes, 205. I was correct on the numbers. At least my head still works. 205 S&P 500 companies are going to report during the week. Look at them. Monday, it's not this. It's this. Monday, before the bell, SoFi, AT&T. After the bell, Nucor, and some small companies. Monday, you can relax. Then comes Tuesday. Boeing, GM, Lockheed Martin, Royal Caribbean, Raytheon, JetBlue, and others. After the bell, Starbucks, first call for Brian Niccol as Starbucks CEO, SAP, Lending Club, Logitech. Cool so far. Then comes Wednesday. ASML, the producer of the machines that produce chips. Progressive. We hear from T-Mobile after Verizon posted very good earnings on Friday. ADP and others. Then comes Wednesday after the bell. You will not want to miss it. Tesla, Meta, Microsoft, IBM, Lam Research, ServiceNow, and others. After the bell, before the bell on Thursday, we are going to get UPS, MasterCard, Dow, which is also a Dow component or was a Dow component, Blackstone, Southwest, and Caterpillar, and other companies as well. You can see them here. And after the bell, Apple, Intel, Visa, Kalak, and others. What a week. But it doesn't end there. Friday, we're going to hear from ExxonMobil, Chevron, AbbVie, and others. And that, of course, brings us to the events of the week, which mainly the other events is Wednesday. Wednesday, we're going to hear the rate decision, which probably currently predicts no change in rates. But nevertheless, you're going to hear on 2:30 Jerome Powell. And why is that relevant? Because if you remember, I said that Trump wants to reduce rates as fast as possible. This does not align with the Fed decision. That's going to be very interesting. And on Friday, we're going to get PCE. All this brings us directly to the S&P 500. I'm going to hide everything and let's talk about the S&P 500, represented by SPX is the ticker. You can see here on Japanese candlestick chart. We are on an upward trend. We have surpassed the previous highs, as you can see, Thursday and Friday. We ended lower than we started on Friday, which might be a key reversal day. We will see. When we add 20-day moving average and 50-day moving average, you can see that we are relatively far from them. Moving averages are like a magnet to the stock price, to the price, and it might come down. Also, when we add gaps are prices, or actually gaps in prices between the closing price and the opening price of the day after, you can see that we have 3 opened gaps. When you connect this to the parallel channel that we broke out of, you can see that we might see a correction to around 6,000, 5,950, 6,000. Might be a very healthy correction. That's around a 2% correction. This does not change anything. It does not change the fact that we're in an uptrend. It does not change the animal spirits that in the market. It does not change the push. It doesn't change anything. It might come out of some kind of news or something like that. But also, there might be a situation where animal spirits will continue. Everyone will keep buying stocks like there's no tomorrow. If that happens, then we will see eventually a correction, but it's going to be bigger and stronger. That's all. I hope that we will see a 2% correction, whether before Wednesday, the Fed, or after, it doesn't really matter. We're going to see the correction. Everyone's going to calm down. The oscillators are going to come down, and then we're going to see the next run up. I hope you enjoyed this video. This is a weekly summary. Next week is going to be even more interesting with all the companies reporting and the Fed and everything. So stay tuned. Micah from America saying bye-bye.